Hello and welcome. Glad to have you here. What is alignment? A word we hear very often. But what does it actually mean? And more important, how do we learn to live in alignment in a world that constantly pulls us in 100 different directions? So let's unpack this together. Alignment is when our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, and our actions are in harmony. It's that feeling of inner clarity when what we are doing matches who we really are. When we are aligned, we don't feel the need to justify or force things. We act from clarity, not from chaos. And even if life gets messy, we don't feel lost. We are anchored. We know we're in alignment when we feel peaceful, even while working very hard. When our decisions come from truth, not from pressure. When we don't need to justify or force things. When our energy feels clean, there's no guilt, there's no confusion or emotional tug of war. See, when we are aligned, we attract people and opportunities that match our energy. Life begins to feel more on track, even when it's not perfect. Our decisions feel lighter because they are coming from within. They're not from fear or from external noise. And alignment doesn't mean everything is perfect, because it is not. But it means that we are at peace with our path, because we know it's ours. Now, how does a misalignment show up? We are out of alignment when we say yes, when we mean no. When we feel drained after spending time in certain environments or with certain people. We make decisions from fear. Fear of being judged, rejected, fear of missing out. We are constantly second-guessing ourselves. This is a big one and a very powerful one. So I'm going to go in a little bit deeper on second-guessing. Because second-guessing, which is something we all do and very often, is being out of alignment. Have you ever made a decision, felt good about it, peaceful even? And then just a few seconds later, your mind jumps in with questions like, wait, did I make the right choice? Should I have done it differently? What if it doesn't work out? That moment right there, that second guessing is a sign that you've stepped out of alignment. The moment we begin to overthink, to doubt, or to replay scenarios in our heads, we disconnect from that inner knowing. We start trying to think our way through something we already felt our way into. We felt it was okay, but now our heads are telling us maybe it's not. Second guessing doesn't come from truth. It comes from fear, from conditioning, from wanting to be perfect or to avoid mistakes. But what if being in alignment means honoring your first knowing? What if that quiet voice, the one before the noise, was actually the truth? So the next time you doubt yourself, next time you find yourself second guessing, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, Am I still aligned with my original decision? Or am I reacting to fear or external pressure? Because see, most of the time, we'll realize that the clarity was there all along. We just stepped away from it. It doesn't always scream at us. Sometimes it's just a whisper. You know, this doesn't feel right. Or I don't know why, but I feel off. Those whispers, that's our inner compass. That's the signal it's time to realign. We've all experienced time in our lives when, we're doing everything right, checking all the boxes, being productive, doing what's expected. But deep down, we felt tired, disconnected, and unfulfilled. I was there. I was living from the outside in instead of from the inside out. And the moment I started to honor what felt right for me, even if it meant disappointing others, life started feeling a little lighter. And that's alignment. And once you feel it, you can go back. So how do we get back into alignment? Here are a few practices that help. I want to share them with you. 1, pause and reflect. Ask yourself regularly, does this feel like me? Am I doing this from love, fear, or just to fit in? Is this true to who I am becoming? 2, notice your energy. When something drains you or feels heavy, pay attention. That's not punishment, that's guidance. 3, set boundaries that reflect your values. Say yes to what expands you and say no to what shrinks you. Every boundary you set is an act of alignment. And 4, get quiet. Sometimes we're misaligned because we're too busy to hear ourselves. We're too busy doing, too busy going. Slow down. Sit in stillness and let your inner wisdom speak. You don't need to chase peace. You need to realign with it. Find that place that brings you peace and go there as often as you can. You don't need to force your way forward. You need to come back to yourself. Because every time you pause, reflect, and choose what's true, you're stepping back into alignment. And when you're in alignment, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying, but because you are being. And that's the power of living from the inside out. I want to thank you again for sharing this space with me. We'll talk soon. But until then, take care and stay aligned.